What's going on, everyone? It's Kim Millie out of Savannah, Georgia, and I really feel like talking to y'all today. I titled this one on Facebook and Instagram, "Within 6 months, I was in the driver's seat of his Rolls Royce." Yes, horny. All right, but basically, this is not a video about Rolls Royce vehicles or luxury vehicles, anything like that. It is a video about attraction and preparation. So some of you who follow me, you know, hey Monica, what's going on? You know that last weekend, man, time really flies. But this time last weekend, I was at the Mastermind House with one of my with my business coach, Derek Harper, and a whole bunch of the Body family. Hey Carrie George, happy anniversary to you. That was just last week. Now last week we had so many things going on in the Mastermind House. It was like real world, but for entrepreneurs, okay? And one of the things that we did on the last day is he had all his friends bring their exotic cars to the front yard, and we took pictures in it. So that is the whole, within 6 months, I was in the driver's seat of his Rolls Royce. I took a picture in the driver's seat of his Rolls Royce, and it's so when the picture goes up and somebody goes, "That ain't your car," no, it's not. Who cares? There's a bigger picture here that I want you guys to get, because a lot of people out here have desires and have wants and wishes for things, but they don't know how to actually run the play to make it happen. So this is a video about manifestation or attraction and preparation. Let's reverse engineer. What I want to do is I want to take you back in time to how last weekend came to be, because when I really, on my drive back to Savannah, when I really thought about it, I was like, this is a trip. You never know in life, like, where one action will lead you, right? So I did not know anything about no Derek Harper in February of this year. This is 2021, okay? So I had never heard of him before. Plenty of people in that house had been following him for years. That was not my story. I actually found out about Derek Harper because of the Social Proof podcast. His interview dropped. I had to go back and look up these numbers last night. His interview dropped on March the 11th of 2021. Now, I remember when that interview dropped because I am an avid listener of that Social Proof podcast. It's really good, right? And I remember that night I was going to go to sleep, and then this interview dropped. I started listening to it. I said, let me listen while I'm getting ready for bed. And it was so good. Man, I was taking notes. I had never heard this stuff before. It was exactly what I needed to hear. Why? Because I thought this whole entire time in my life, my problem was that I couldn't make the amount of money that I wanted to make. I thought that was my problem. I thought my problem was that I wasn't good at sales. But then I became good at sales. And I started making good money. And I still wasn't happy. So when I listened to Derek Harper's interview with Social Proof, I really understood why, and because the reason why I wasn't happy is because I did not have the time. Like, I know MLMers tell you, oh, you're going to have time freedom. You do to a certain extent, but you still have to work, right? And if you're doing everything by yourself, it can be a lot of work. Calling your team, calling the customers, sending out the packages, making sure all your affairs are in order. Your accounting changes when you go from W-2 to 1099. There's a lot of dynamics because, like it or not, this is a real business. Okay? So when Derek Harper talked about how to body your business, how to build it, organize it, document it, and then delegate it, so that basically you hand over the responsibilities to other people, and now you really truly have time freedom, I was like, that's what I want. That right there is what I want. That is the missing key. That's what I need in my life. Because before my son right now is 11 and a half. In 2-3 years, he ain't going to be checking for his mom like he is now. He ain't going to want to spend time with me. And when I get into another relationship, I will not make the same mistake that I made in my marriage. I will not have money be an issue. So although I'm making good money right now, I don't have the time. It wouldn't even be fair for me to be in a relationship right now. That's why I'm not in one, right? So how do I buy back my time? I was like, okay, this man has got the goods. I remember calling Candy B. I think I sent her the video that night, or either I called her the next day and was like, girl, you got to hear this guy. It was amazing. Oh, I'm sorry. Message is coming through. It was amazing. Okay. And I'll post his interview. I always say I'm going to do something and then I forget to do it. But yeah, I'm going to post his interview. Let me go ahead and write that down. See, like, he would never have to do this. He would just be like, Francis, post the interview link. And then she'd be like, yes, boss, it's done. That's my girl. Shout out to Francis. But I'm going to get on his level. So, March 11th, I heard the interview. Y'all, no lie, and I know this because I had to go back to my DMs and look it up. Do y'all know? Now, I live in Savannah. He lives in Atlanta. I see him March 11th for the first time. Do you know? March 14th, I met him in person at the QT in Locust Grove. Like, of all places, the gas station. And it's so crazy how I came upon that gas station because that day I was supposed to meet with someone who had something that I needed. And that person was really just giving me the runaround, being a butthole, quite frankly. And I was all out of my personal development that day, y'all. Personal development be damned, okay? I was getting 5711 hot because I would go to this gas station and he would tell me, oh no, I'm over here, my bad. So what you want to do? You want me to come over there to you, or you want to come over here? And he was just playing with me, just for kicks, and it was pissing me off, right? So, but this is a lesson, okay? God will make your enemies your footstools, y'all. God will make your enemies your footstool, all right? So when I said, no, you don't come over here. Fine, you told me the wrong gas station, the wrong QT, no problem. I'm going to come to you. Where are you for real? When the person told me where they were, I went there, and I'm like, okay, got what I needed. And as I'm walking into the QT for something, which I never ever do, I see this Rolls Royce with Derek on the license plate, and I'm like, that's odd, a Rolls Royce down here. I look in the window, and it's the same guy from the dang on Social Proof podcast. So I'm like, you know, I read books, I go to seminars, I go to conferences, and they are always like capitalize on the moment. So I'm like, well, what do I do though? And he's on the phone having a business meeting. It seems like he's in the car talking, and I'm standing outside the car looking. I don't get excited about reality stars, about rappers, about celebrities, but I get excited about thought leaders. I get excited about business people. I get excited about people that are making moves on a whole nother level. Those are the people that if I see them out, like, if I see them out on the street, I'm gonna be like, not these rappers y'all talking about. So I'm standing outside his car looking goofy as all hell with my son. And I was just like, I loved your interview. And so he's just like, what? And so I'm like, I love your interview. And so he rolled down the window, told the person to hold on. And he was like, oh, okay. And we had a very short conversation. And I said, I didn't mean to be rude and interrupt you, but I just saw your interview the other day. And he was like, well, make sure you catch the Ash Cash one. I was like, yeah, I'm following you, so I'll be looking it up, okay? So that was basically the end of our interaction. Now, once I left the QT, I was like, I have to message him something to make him, because I was like, our paths are going to cross again. I said, our paths are going to cross again. Yes, sir. Because I declare and decree it, right? So I sent him a message. That's how I know that I met him on March 14th, because I was able to go back to the DMs and look and see the date of the message. So I sent him a message just saying, hey, you don't know what your interview did for me. I really appreciate the story about how you and your wife overcame foreclosure, repo, and how you're now doing all these things. So that's what the message was. A few days later, he responded back, no problem. But I remember him saying in that interview, he's like, yeah, to work with me is $25,000. Baby, I make good money, but I can't just drop $25K right now on a coach. So I'm like, dang, how am I going to work with him? How am I going to work with him? But I'm telling you guys, if you take the first step, God will clear the path for you. God will clear the path for you, right? And if you just set your intention, right? Set your intention. Because I knew when I saw the interview, I was like, oh my gosh, you have to think about a thing. Reverend Ike talks about it all the time. Apostle Hilliard talks about it all the time. David Imonitier talks about it all the time. Believe in believing. And see, this broadcast right here, it's not going to get a lot of likes because I'm not talking about something sexy. But y'all, this is the key to a lot of stuff that you want in your life. And I'm telling you, I don't care what you do with the information. My job is just to share it with you. But I know for a fact that it works because I've seen it work in my life. So I'm like, man, how am I going to work with this guy? But I'm like, okay, I'm not worried about it. I just know it's going to work. The next month, y'all, He's like, hey, there are a lot of people who want access to me, but I'm not easily accessible. I really want to serve the masses, so I'm going to have a monthly coaching program. It'll start out at this low introductory rate for your first month, and then the next month it's going to go up basically double. No problem. That was my price point. So, okay, now we're in April. We're in April, y'all. So I'm like, bet I'm signing up for the monthly coaching. And that's what I did. So the interview dropped March 11th. I met him in a city I don't even live in, at the gas station, in a city that a Rolls Royce shouldn't have even been in, right? 3 days later after the interview, in the next month, he offers a low coaching program that's in my price point. And see, this is what I want y'all to understand about attraction. You can attract something to you, but if you're not preparing for it, you will not be able to capitalize on it when it comes before you. So what if he offered that and I still was broke as a joke? Even at the low price point, the lower price point than $25K, what if I still couldn't take advantage of it? And I'm telling you guys, the way that you get people's attention, that successful people that have the results that you desire, you sign up for their stuff. You go in there, you be the best student. You be the most attentive student. You be the brightest student on the Zoom. Don't be the student in bed with no bra on, in the dark with your camera off. Yeah, we understand. I see this all the time, and I just honestly don't understand it. Like, how do people give their boss who makes $40K a year more respect than they do a multimillionaire? It's mind-boggling to me, right? Mind-blown emoji. I don't understand it. But trust me when I say this, as someone who has been on and conducted a lot of Zoom meetings, you pay attention to the people that give you the best energy. So everywhere I go, I try to show up and give good energy. So the Zoom start, and y'all, life hit me like a ton of bricks. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I was on every Zoom, and I'm not gonna say I did all my homework, but I will say I never gave up, and I made sure that my money came out of my account. I will pay him that amount for the rest of my life, because the man is just dropping so much knowledge, and he's giving us information that he's paying somebody else $50,000 for and hundreds of thousands of dollars for. And the access to his network has been phenomenal. Like last night or night before last, what was it, Coach? He brought on his friend who is a VA expert, and the deal that they worked out for us just because we're a part of his mentorship. That's what y'all are not understanding. These things, the connections, right? The connections, your what do you call it? The relationship. It's relationship revenue, y'all. Who you are connected to. It's not how, it's who. That's a book. Who, not how, right? Who are you connected to that's going to make your life easier? Who are you connected to that's going to help you get that car, get that house, get that whatever it is? You can't just manifest it. You have to prepare for it. Many of you in 2020, you wanted a house, but you couldn't even capitalize on low interest rates because you didn't prepare for it in advance. So what was the point? What's the point of saying, I really want this, I really want that? Nobody cares what you want. God, the universe, whatever you worship, they only care about what your butt is preparing for. So put yourself in position to capitalize on stuff when it presents itself to you. So once I signed up for his coaching and I'm in the class, then he comes out with, he's like, hey, we're going to take the coaching, we're going to compress it down to a, hey, what's going on, brother? He said, preach, sis, what's going on? You know, because we do the same thing in our community. People don't get it, though. They're making life so much harder. I'm going to figure it out by myself. The lies you tell. If you could have figured it out by yourself, wouldn't you have done that by now? Your best thinking got you to where you are at this point in time. You can't do it by yourself. But go ahead. Pain will continue to teach you a lesson until your butt learns to pass the test. Pain is necessary until you learn it is not. That's one of my favorite quotes. Pain is necessary until your butt learns it's not. Right? Y'all drink y'all water today? So, anyway, I'm about to wrap this up because I got to get the dinner out of the oven for my son. So, we go to the Body Mastermind camps. He's like, hey, I'm going to take the whole entire curriculum. I'm going to compress it down into a weekend intensive. Who wants to be there? We're going to have a virtual aspect. We're going to have an in-person aspect. And we're going to have an in-person aspect with a live houses. Whatever the top tier is, I want it. Whatever the top tier is, I want it. So, I signed up for the live thing with the house component to it. Why? Because I will pay I will pay to remove myself from my environment. The reason why I go to so many seminars, conventions, and things like that is because here I have the laundry room over there. I have my son with cartoons in the back. I love my son, of course. What do I have to do right now? Get dinner out of the oven. When I was at the Body Mastermind house, we had a private shelf. So when you go away, when you physically remove yourself from your environment, you're able to zone in and focus on a level that you never could otherwise. You are compressing decades into days. You are compressing months into mere minutes. You are accelerating your progress towards your goal. I'm telling you, the money, I don't ever look at like the money like, oh my God, I could use this to buy a car. And I promise you, I've invested in enough coaching this year to buy a car. But if I bought the car would just be there, right? Even if I put it on tour and turn that liability into an asset, that would be super duper cool. However, if I invest in my mind, and I invest in the people, the community of the people that are going to invest, the people that invested themselves at that level, man, they be spitting knowledge, they be dropping jewels that will help me to make more money than what I initially invested. That's why I invest in myself. So anyway, guys, when I thought about it, hey coach, you're going to be at the next Body Mastermind house though. You got to. So when I thought about it and I was sitting in the driver's seat of his Rolls Royce last week, I said, wow, that's crazy. 7 months ago, I didn't know nothing about no Derek Harper. And now the impact that he's had on my life. And, you know, when I met him at that QT in Locust Grove, a chance meeting after somebody royally pissed me off and led me to that exact place. And it's so funny because had the person who was trying to mess with me told me the right place where they were at, and I'd gone there, I would have been at the wrong gas station, right? And had I been there just a little bit earlier, Derek Harper wouldn't have been there. So when I say everything is always working together for your greater good, it's really the truth. You just have to be in position to capitalize on it. And you definitely have to have your mind right to realize it. But it was amazing to me when I was reflecting back, and just to be able to talk to him and converse with him and talk to his wife and talk to other people who have been mentored by him for such a long time. People that, or not even so long, but the impact that he's had on their businesses and their money, amazing. And they're like, yeah, I got 4 VAs and now I this, and because of him, my business that. And I'm just like, that's where I'm going. That's where I am going. But guys, I constantly call the right people into my life. I might not know them by name. I might not know them by face, but I have characteristics and qualities of people that I desire to be around, that people I'm going to allow into my space. I constantly call those people into my path. And when they come, I make sure that I am ready to capitalize on the connection. And I strongly encourage you to do the same. I will tell you right now, some of the people who have helped me to do this, David Imonite, like I said, Apostle Hilliard, Stuart Wow, you want to get into the metaphysical, you want to tap into, like, all this stuff is spiritual. Okay, I didn't say religious, I said spiritual. But I'm telling you, there are some things that you can do besides worrying. Worrying it produces nothing good. Worrying about your situation produces nothing good. But actually learning how to work on the spiritual realm, in the spiritual realm, actually strategizing, actually positioning yourself, oh baby, that's everything. It is life-changing. In 6 months, I went from not knowing Derek Harper at all to randomly meeting him in his Rolls Royce at the QT gas station, being a part of his monthly mentorship, and then sitting in the driver's seat of his that luxury vehicle. And I remember when a Rolls Royce was like a super duper big deal to me, and I'm not saying like that it's not right now, but it's not the same. You want to expand your comfort zone. You want to be around people like that, people that have nice things, so that those things don't seem like ooh to you, okay? You want to be in that environment. You want to touch the leather. You want to smell it. You want to feel it. You want it to become as comfortable to you as your Honda Accord. Okay? That's the key, guys. You've got to expand your comfort zone. So anyway, I've talked for long enough. I hope this helped you. I'm telling you, go somewhere. I remember you told us that story when you met him. Yes, and I had to come back and just bring it full circle because, like I said, I had no idea on March 14th when I met him at the QT that I would be sitting in the driver's seat of that car and just powwowing with him. And yeah, Yeah. And what I'm about to do for my business, is it scary? Yes. Everything is scary when it's new. But I know it's necessary because I've reached that point. And with the right coaching and mentorship, that's the only way that I can identify how to solve this situation that I'm currently having in my business. Just growing pains. Nothing bad, just growing pains. But it's time for me to take it to the next level. It's time for me to really have time freedom. And at the same time, make sure that I'm serving my customers, my team, everybody to the highest capacity. But I can't do it by myself. So this is another level that the Better Butter crew has never seen before. And am I scared? Yes. But I'm also excited because I already know that this man has the blueprint, and all I have to do is truly be teachable and coachable. And there's nothing that's going to come my way that I can't handle because it's written. It's the word. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.